The Pont du Hoc sign that we saw was where the paratroopers regrouped. That was their signs, and the Germans had misplaced some of those signs so that they were regrouping in different locations, pointed to Pont du Hoc, but they would go into traps that the Germans set for them. Germans were very clever in their setting of traps. GBF and his 4 kids and CaVa on top of a tank, World War II tank. Caryn holding CaVa for dear life. Margie getting comfortable. 2 boys surveying the scene of the battles. You remember this, guys? And Dad pointing out the various scenes where he paratrooped in my fantasies in my youth when I was 9 years old. 8, 36, 8 years old when this invasion took place. And 30 years later, I guess I'm 38. At that time, Margie must have been about 8. Let's see, this is 74, so Margie was 7, Tommy's 9, Michael's 10, and Caryn is 12. And CaVa is about 2 or 3. And now Adri gets back here, standing next to an obelisk on the beach. There's one of the bunkers, right there, that round structure is one of the bunkers facing the ocean, and this is where the Rangers scaled the cliffs you're going to see in a moment. Very steep cliffs here, maybe 30, 40 meters high, down to the waterline. So the poor guys came up on their landing barges, loaded with gear, facing the machine guns that were raking the beaches. Of course, some of this was a surprise. In fact, that's the secret of the success of this whole invasion, was the surprise and secrecy they were able to maintain with this huge invasion site. Here's the beach. This is the cliffs that the beach with those anti-aircraft batteries. And the 0 marker was the beginning of the Liberty Highway, which led the Allied forces from these beaches through Paris to the Bastogne battle, where Uncle Leo was killed. Uncle Leo Frank, Uncle Sidney Frank, wounded in the battle for Kassel, was his second wounding. He was wounded in Belgium also. Michael going over the sand dunes, beautiful sand dunes here have reappeared. There's the road going right up and being washed by the sand. Michael bouncing on the fence, taking a little rest from our hardcore. That Pont du Hoc was an early morning, even before the invasion. They tried to secure some of the German positions behind the lines, try to get the key bunkers, which were able to shell shipping for 20 miles in 3 different directions. John Wayne starred in one of the versions of that. In fact, there was a whole bunch of stars, including John Wayne. I think John Wayne played the colonel. And these are the landing barges that were dropping the troops off. Some of them were pretty small. This couldn't get a tank. This was just small personnel landing barges. Margie by some of the World War II artifacts, anti-aircraft gun. Looking cute in her jeans. Let me back this up and get another shot of Margie there, huh? No one will object to that. There she is, sweet little kid. Hi, Nikki. That's your mommy with CaVa. Yes, that's the Margie girl. Very great vacation spot. Very scenic, as you can see. It's still very quaint. There's Michael going down to the beaches, rocky beaches at this point. It's a residential and tourist spot. There's Adri in our balcony off our room at the Hotel de Normandie in Aubin-sur-Mer. That's the end of this reel, folks. See you later. Okay, this is Fecamp, right next to Etretat. our favorite beach for having wonderful lunches and tours in the area. We used to make about a monthly trip from Fecamp to Etretat. This might have been one of our first ones, because usually we'd eat on the seaside when we had a nice day in Etretat. But here's Fecamp, about a 3-hour drive from Le Pec on the autoroute to the English Channel. Beautiful seaside bay, German bunkers up in the mountains there. That's what I'm shooting, those man-made structures where the German bunkers were defending this port. So here was a very small port village with a very small bay, not suitable for bringing in the amount of equipment that was necessary for the invasion. And here's the way it was protected everywhere. The whole coastline from Holland all the way down to Spain was protected from invasions by these bunkers at key places. And that Benedictine monastery later, that's the B&B Cordial Monastery. Here's a boat being lifted up into place. Getting a little morning glare here. A little speedy action to speed up the movement of this boat, which took about 2 hours to drop onto its trailer. I was watching it there. And Benedictine and brandy cordials were made from a supposed recipe of the monks. The income from the booze paid for the building of this replica of the monastery without any monks. This is supposedly where they had their monastery. And this is all rebuilt after the war. Some smart entrepreneur said, let's have some cordials called B&B, Benedictine and brandy.